Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Fortune is back on the news. I'm pretty sure I forgot to update this a long time ago, but just because I completely forgot about it. Yeah. Fortune came back on the internet after a whole lot of server change, and I also believe Fortune is blocked from the UK. So yeah. So 10 women are suing the T app after data breach leaked their personal data on and photos on Fortune. Yeah, I didn't really talk about it because I didn't really find too much interesting. Well, not that it was interesting or anything. It was more like, it was more along the lines of it was whatever. I didn't really care. But yeah, so the T app sued for millions in class action lawsuit after a massive data breach. So a while back, the T app if I remember carefully, the T app was just like this application where people were able to rate each other, like their appearance, personality. This isn't the first time we heard applications like this. I remember there was one 10 years ago that got into the news because people would just rate each other, and depending on the rating and everything, that discouraged people from being friends. It was sort of like this weird attempt of like the social credit system in China. The T app is now subject of a 10 class action lawsuit in both federal and state court after a major security flaw resulted in users' photo ID names and location being leaked. The T app was initially created in 2023 at the Data Safety Program to help women discuss men in their area and alert each other about potential threats. Yeah, now see, I think in theory this is a good idea. I can see how this can work maybe in theory as a good idea, but at the same time, it only takes one woman to lie, right? This doesn't help with a lot of things. It really does not help, right? Because it could take one woman lying, like, oh yeah, he's a scumbag, and could it be like he just didn't like the way she talked? That's all it could literally be, and I'm like, ooh. However, a huge flaw in its security was discovered by hackers in July 2025, who reported dismantled 17 images, 13,000 of which contain user verification photos and government ID. Not long after that, the app DMs were also breached, which hackers exposed 1.1 million private chats that included personal conversations between users involving sensitive information like phone numbers and legal names. So I wonder how many guys' legal names and their phone numbers were used. In response, T disabled a DM system and offered user free identification protection, but the damage was already done. As of August 7, 2025, at least 10 women have sued the app in federal and state court, claiming that the T was careless in its security and even breached contract with them. T app could be sued for hundreds of millions. Scott Cole is a lawyer who spearheaded a lawsuit against T app on behalf of his client, I'm not going to pronounce that name, as well as 4 other women who requested to join the suit. Her particular concern has more to do with information that she has shared with others on the site and how they may come back to haunt her in the future. And I think the number one concern heard directly or indirectly from users. So essentially, depending on the info she was spreading, whether true or not, it can be damning, not simply to her, but even to guys, right? Because its whole point of the app, it's basically tells you what guys are, what basically in a way, date, who and who not. One of the lawsuits against the T app named 4chan, T spelled an X, at defendant accusing the social platform and account of spreading information malicious targets of women whose data has been leaked. The app the app promised her that the anonymity, it promised her safety, it promised to delete her verification data. T broke every of those promised, the suit stayed. Yeah, oopsie. 4 lawsuits are seeking $5 million in damage as a result of harassment doxing from the breach, but experts say these amounts could get much higher. So there's about to be some rich women out there right now. Spoke with NBC News about the suit as a professor at law school with a specialization in class action lawsuit. He says TX and Fortune could be looking at hundreds of millions in payout to the defendant. It could be more of an existential threat to their existence. not to you get the rest, you get the idea of the rest of the article. Essentially that they done screw up and this is gonna get worse. If anything, this will get worse and not get any better. That's what happened when you play with fire. That's what happened when you play with fire. And the fact that 4chan probably has this information on hand does not help your case, but it is what it is. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, God bless and be safe.